Hi, my name is Alex, CTO at Centric. And for the next few minutes, I would like to show you how to set up rates and also get into some advanced rate functionalities in Centric version 3. Once you're logged into the system, you can access the rate system by simply going to Settings and Rates. Once you're in the rental rate and the rate setup page, you have multiple choices. First, we should start by setting up the master rates, which means the base rates in the system. When you click on master rate, on the right hand side, you can simply search for your rates or enter the rate code and find the rate that you're looking for if you have numerous rates in the system, or simply go into existing rates and edit them. You can also disable rates by clicking on delete, or add a new rate by clicking on new rate. So I'm just going to click on one of the existing rates called daily rental. Right here we have the rate code, which if you enter, it's recommended to use unique rate codes. Calculation by is for the rate to be calculated based on the 24-hour cycle or calendar day, which means every time the date changes, the calendar changes at midnight, it will charge the client for one day. So let's say if the car goes out at 10 a.m. today and comes in 10 a.m. tomorrow, this will be considered 2 days because it's 2 calendar days. And flat is a flat rate for the entire duration of the rental, regardless of the hours or the days that this vehicle is out on rental. Also, 24-hour time is the more common used calculations. Calendar day is mostly used for insurance replacement rentals. Rate type standard. Basically, standard is the most common used rate type, and by selecting standard, the rate will be automatically going from hourly to daily, from daily to weekly, and from weekly to monthly. So this is a normal progression for the rate to go up as the days get added to the rental. So standard is definitely recommended. But also you have other choices. You have 1 day multi-day all the way to 30-day multi-day. What this means is that if you would like to offer a 4-day rental, which is a special rate, for example, the 4-day is more than 5-day, or if the customer chooses to rent 9-day rental, 9 days rental, it will be less than 7 days. So based on the number of days the customer is requesting the reservation, requesting the rate, you can specify the specific rate to be only for 9 days rental, not less or not more than that. So this is what's called in the industry the multi-day rental. You can also have it based on a date range, which I'll get into that in just a moment. Another rate type is 5-hour flat, which is mostly used for exotic car rentals. You can enter an amount in the daily field, and that will be charged to the customer for renting the vehicle for 5 hours. Hourly rate only, daily rate only, and weekly rate only are used if you would like to charge the customer only hourly and you don't want to charge them daily, or in this case you want to charge them only daily rates, not switching to weekly or monthly rate in any case, and also weekly rate. So this means is that if you select a weekly rate when you're setting up this rate, every time you're renting the vehicle, the minimum charge will be for a week, and it will only keep adding weeks to the rental. Weekend rate means this rate is set up for the weekend, and once you select that, you will need to select the pickup date, which could be Friday at, let's say, 9 a.m. and drop off no later than Monday at let's say 8 p.m. So in this case, if anyone's renting from you on a weekend between the pickup and the drop-off time, this is the rate that they will be getting. Also, we talked about the multi-day rates. You can also have based on the minimum maximum multi-day rate. So let's say if I select the minimum maximum, instead of having a multi-day rate for a specific number of days, let's say 11 day, 12 day, 13 day, what if you want to say my rate is, let's say, $70 a day between 9 to 15 days. So what you do here, you can put in the maximum and the minimum, and once you set this up, anyone requesting for 9 days or 10 days, 11, all the way to 15, they will get this specific rate displayed on their screen. Going down here, we also have minimum, maximum, plus regular. What this means is that if the customer keeps the vehicle for X number of days, let's say for more than the minimum maximum days allowed, the system will automatically switch to a regular rate, which could be lower or higher in this case, depending on the setup that you have in the system. Flat rates, all the way 1 day to 30 day. Flat rate is used mostly for RV rentals who do rent out their vehicles based on a flat rate, which is, for example, $1,000 for 7 days, and there is no basic fluctuation. They pay $1,000 flat for the entire duration of the rental. Hourly blocks is used for scooter rentals. Basically, you can set up the rate to be based on 10-minute, 20 minutes increment, and you can charge a customer like that. In this case, we can go ahead and select standard and move forward. Availability of the rate can be done either by date range or by the season. So if you enter a season in the system, for example, your season starts from April 1st, it goes all the way to September 1st, you can make this rate available every year based on the season. If not, you can just leave it to be based on the effective date. Let's say it starts from here, goes all the way to 2017 in November. So this rate will be effective or valid from today all the way to the end date that you enter into the system. Extra mileage charge is for you to specify what is the miles charge if the customer goes over the mileage allowed. Grace minutes, system will already include 59 grace minutes, and you can basically add on top of that another 60 minutes or 61 minutes for the customer to be able to come back late and not get charged an hourly rate. Fuel charge per miles and per gallon or liter. Basically, you can charge the client, let's say, for $5 a gallon if they come back with less than full or less than the fuel level that they went out with, which you can basically charge them for the amount missing from the fuel tank. Minimum rental days is very, very good if you want to charge the customers a minimum number of days of the rental. For example, there's a 5-day minimum maximum based on 5-day rental. You can charge them 3 days and say minimum you have to rent from us 3 days, and this is where you enter that number. Skip on start is for your hourly. If you want to skip the hourly on start, this is where you can select it. Active means rate is active. Display online means that the rate gets displayed online, and your customers can basically use these rates to make online reservations. Value pricing allows the rate to go from daily to weekly, from weekly to monthly. If you don't do this, the system will continuously charge the daily rate until it hits the 7 days. But if the value pricing is on, if it reaches a weekly rate just right after 5 days, it will automatically switch to a weekly rate to give value to the customer. Date specific rate is another powerful feature which if you enable, you can have different rates based on the different dates. It's basically very descriptive. You have let's say you have a weekend rate that is higher than your regular daily rate, weekday rates. You can basically have the rate go up on the weekend for 2 days and then come down for the weekdays, and this fluctuation will be easily displayed on the charges summary or on the rental contract. It will show 2 days at $35 and 1 day or 2 days at $55, which was the days for the weekend. Available on Monday through Sunday. If you click these on, the rate will be available throughout the week, or the number of or the weekdays that you specify here. Included options is very simple. You can specify which miscellaneous charges, insurances, and taxes are included in this rate. So what's going to happen is that, let's say you have $100 rate and you say it includes 15% sales tax. What the system is going to do is that it will automatically select the sales tax and not add it on top of the $100, but the rate will be deducted by $15 in this case, and will be displayed at $85 at the end of the day when you're running your daily business reports. So the system is intelligent enough to do reverse calculation and basically extract the base rate from any of the included options that you're packaging in your rate and you're selling to your client. Rate values is very interesting. Again, you can basically have based on the vehicle type, daily, weekly, or monthly, a specific value for your rate. Let's say the rate is $35 and it's valid from September to December. You can have 5 days in December the value go up. For example, the rate value becomes instead of $35 becomes $55. So you would see it in the screen that the rate goes up in value on a specific date during the effectiveness of the rate. Allowed IPs is for you to specify which IPs are able to access this rate online. And then when you come down here, you can simply select the vehicle type and enter the rates. So here I can put in $30 and rest of the fields should populate. You can always overwrite these. These are just multiplications of 7 and 30 days. And also you can specify how many mileage you're allowing per day or kilometer. If you leave it as 0, it will be unlimited. If you enter 1 like this, it will be mileage only rental. So the customer will be charged from the first mile that they drive the vehicle. And if everything is okay, you just click on save and you go back to the main menu. Now if we go back to rental rates again, you can update your master rates in batch. So you can simply click on the rate, master rate update, batch update, and select the location that you would like to update. Then select the rates. Let's say if you go daily economy, and if you had any season, you can just select it and do a search. So in this case, system will return to you from daily economy rate what rate is available, or what the actual master rate is. So simply on the right hand side, you can say update daily by 10%, or $10, or basically make the rate $10 for total. In this case, this is $39. We can say just make it $50 total. And what we can do, we click on update grid, and as you can see, the daily rate is updated to $50. So let's say if you have multiple rates, you can update them all at the same time. Let's get this other rate. We have one rate with the economy and also another rate which has 3 vehicle types in it. We can say update them all to be $50. As you can see, everything becomes $50, and then you can save, and in this case you can update all the rates in one shot, and that makes keeping your rates up to date very simple in Centric. Now rate value update, we touched base a little bit before. Here we can simply select the location, select the rate code. Let's select our daily economy. Select the vehicle type. In this case, we're going to say economy, and we're going to look at in this example at our daily rate. And we would like to know starting from 14th of August what the rates will be going forward in the future. So right here, I can see that our rates are $39.99. On the right hand side, I can adjust the rates. So I can say I want for this weekend from Friday all the way to Monday, which is 17th to the 20th, I want to increase the rate by 10%. And I want it to be available every day, which I can just say all. So if I go update grid, as you can see from 17th to the 20th, which is 17th to 20th here, the rate was increased by 10%. I go save. So these records are saved. Anyone requesting any rate that is the pickup at 17, 18, or 19, or the 20th, they will get $43. But if they request a pickup date at the 22nd, the rate will go down to $39. Now, if this rate was not date specific rate, this $43 doesn't matter if they keep it for a week or they keep it for 2 days. It will be $43 all across the rental. But if this rate that we updated, daily economy, was date specific rate, then in this case, if let's say they picked up the vehicle on the 19th, first 2 days will show as $43.99, and then the next 2 days for the rental will show at $39.99. This is the feature of date specific rate. Now going back to rental rates, we can also block the rates. It's very simple. You simply select the location, daily economy, again economy vehicle type, and daily, and we can say, you know what, show me everything from 14th to the 28th if there is any blocking of the rate. As you can see, there's nothing in the system. We can say I don't want to have any rates displayed anywhere, or basically any availability of the rate between 17th and the 20th. And if I do that, I can just click on save, and as you can see, we added a rate blocking. So what this does is that it blocks the rates from displaying on your online reservation or even in the system. You're basically blocking the rate from being available for your clients to make booking or even making a rental. And if you want to delete it, you can simply delete it. You can also unblock it. And that's it. We remove the block, and there's no blocking on this specific rate. Going back to rate to rate setup, another feature which is very important is the rate utilization. Here, what we can do is that we can select the location, select the rate, select the vehicle type, and let's say for a date range, again, let's go from the 14th to the 29th. We can see what kind of a utilization we will have, and based on the utilization we can increase or decrease the rate. So in this case, we can say, let's say from the 15th to the 22nd in this week, if I let's say I hit 90% booking for my vehicles, so let's say you have 10 vehicles, 10 minivans, and 9 of them are booked for this duration. At this duration, you can here with this tool increase your rate. So you can say increase my rates by 20% and save it. So what's going to happen here is that if at this duration between the 15th and 22nd of August, if your minivans or let's say economy vehicles hit 90% of the bookings, which means that you're almost getting close to being fully booked or even overbooked, in this case increase the prices automatically by 20%. So this will allow you to either decrease the rate or increase the rate dynamically based on the number of bookings you have in the system. So let's say if you're at 40%, you're not sure if you're going to get more booking, you can actually do minus 20% and save. So right here, if we're at 40%, you might want to give 20% discount, but when you get to 90%, then you can actually increase the prices from the base price that you have in the system. So going back to the master rate setup, Rates calendar is a simple tool that allows you to view all your rates, base rates and any modified rates. So let's say I'm going to go 14 to the 20th, 21st, and I go display rates. This is showing me all the master rates that I have in the system, or let's call them the base rates. And here, if I go generate, I can see the adjusted rates in the system based on the fluctuations in the utilization, based on increased on the rate value. If you have done any batch update, you can see all that in here. And here you have the rate name, monthly, weekly, daily, and the miles allowed in the rate. And if you mouse over, you can see all the details popping up in this calendar. And on the top, you will see the dates. On the left hand side, you see the vehicle types. Going back to master rate setup, overbooking control. You can overbook your fleet based on a percentage. So let's say here I go to economy and I go between 14th to the 28th and I do a search. I don't see any overbooking saved from before. What I can do is I can say from the 16th to the 23rd, allow me to book by 10 units or even 10%. So let's say if I do that, what's going to happen is that if I have 10 economy vehicles, if I allow 10% overbooking in this duration, I can take one more reservation extra based on real-time availability if I have 10% overbooking entered into the system. So this is how you can take more reservations in, just in case if you can upgrade them to something else, or you might not. You might have no shows. People don't show up, so you cover your business in terms of the overbooking. Going to the setup, this is for you to set up the number of days in the month for the system to switch to the monthly rate. This is the rate ratios. Here, whatever you enter for the daily rate, let's say if you enter $4, it will be $10 for the daily, and $40 for the extra daily, 4 times 7 for the weekly, and 4 times 30 for the monthly. So this is just a ratio for you. When you're entering it into the system will automatically multiply it for you. And here in the seasons, you can simply add new seasons to the system. So let's say season name, you can call it high season, or you can call it holiday season, and you can simply set the date. Let's say holiday season starts from the 21st of December and it ends on the 31st of December. And this is where we were talking about originally. You can have a rate available on a specific season, and once this rate is available by that season, it will be available every year when the 21st of December comes up to 30th of December. Now let me show you a couple of examples on the rate value updates or the master rate updates. In this case, we have a master rate which is $39.99 for the daily, and if I click on it right here, we can look at the rate values. As you can see, from the 17th to the 21st, we increased the rate values by $42 to $43.99, or by 10%. I can show you exactly where we did that. If I go back to the rental rate setup, right here, if I go to rate values update and I select the location, select the rate, select the vehicle type, select the plan, which was our daily rate, and say start from the 14th and show me what I have in the system. So here it shows me if the pickup happens on the 14th, 15th, 16th, it will be $39.99. But if the pickup happens on 17th, 18th, 19th, and the 20th, it will be $43.99. So now let's test it. If I go to the quote and generate a new quote, first let's start from the 15th for 3 days, and I go economy, As you can see, it shows $39.99, and I go generate. $39.99 for a total of $119.97. So now let's see if I generate the quote for 17th for 3 days. I go economy, and as you can see, it is $43.99. So the rate went up based on the rate value that we have set up in the system. So I go generate, and as you can see, the rate is higher than $39.99 based on our setup. So there you go. This is Centric rate setup and also advanced features. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@rentcentric.com.